Hi, it's Dr. Judy Morgan, and I'm just going to do a quick video on something that's a big problem for a lot of female dogs, particularly those that were spayed young in life, and that's urinary incontinence. Our little old girl that we just adopted, our 14-year-old spaniel Freckles, came with some pretty severe urinary incontinence. She also came with a really severe bladder infection, which we have under control, but the urine leakage still continues. And the leakage is worst when she's sleeping, so in the middle of the night, and if she falls asleep on the sofa for more than a couple of hours without getting woken up to go outside, then we're usually left with a wet dog and a wet spot where she's been lying. Makes for some really interesting methods to keep the furniture safe, to keep the dog dry. And we are resorting to little diapers for her. I use Simple Solutions diapers, and they seem to work really well, and I like those a lot. That's the same brand I had used on Laura Lou when she was having problems. So if you need to get diapers, I'll recommend that brand, and they have cute little patterns, and they work pretty well. So what other ways can we deal with the urinary incontinence to try to get the problem solved rather than just putting up with the leaking? And so we're still working on that with Freckles, and there are a few different ways that it can be treated. One of the most common products that's used in traditional medicine is something called Proin or phenylpropanolamine. Phenylpropanolamine is actually a diet drug in the human world, but it does help keep urine inside the dog. The biggest problem with phenylpropanolamine is that one of the side effects is that it can really raise blood pressure. And I had tried it on Laura Lou, and it raised her blood pressure to the point where it caused glaucoma that was irreversible. So needless to say, I am not a fan of Proin and phenylpropanolamine. I use it very little in my practice, and dogs who are going to be put on that medication, we insist that they have their blood pressure checked before starting, right after starting, and we follow it pretty often to make sure that we're not getting into any trouble there. It's a product that works for most dogs, but it doesn't work in all dogs. In the past, when that hasn't worked, before I got into alternative medicine, we would use estrogen or DES as our follow-up product. The estrogen replacement does work pretty well for a lot of dogs because it really is an estrogen deficiency that is causing the problem. However, side effects of overuse of estrogen or DES can be bone marrow suppression, which is non-reversible and will kill the dog. So again, that if it happens to your dog, it's not a good thing. And particularly in the beginning when you're doing loading doses, the female will smell like a dog in heat, so she's going to be really attractive to all the little boys in the neighborhood. So that can be a problem as well. Alternative methods of treating the urinary incontinence include some different products. One of the easy to get for everyone out there is something called Leaks No More. It's made by, oops, get my fingers off there, made by Homeopath. And you can get this over the counter or on the internet. And it's a homeopathic drop. It's a combination product. For the true homeopaths out there, they're not real fans of these types of products because they like to give an individual remedy instead of a combination remedy. But I find that this one is non-toxic, easy to obtain, and so a lot of clients will use it, and it works really well for a lot of animals. We just started Freckles on it this week. It's not like giving a pill. It's not something that works instantly, so we're going to give it to her for a couple of weeks before we decide that it's doing something or not doing something. I use a lot of different Chinese herbals for pets with urinary incontinence, and they're based on the pattern symptom for the dog, so you do need to work with a holistic veterinarian who works with Chinese medicine and herbals to pick the best product for your pet. One of the products that I use fairly commonly is Swaquan. This particular product works wonders in our old male, Charlie, who also has urinary incontinence. Urinary incontinence in males is not near as common, but it can occur, and he's older than dirt. and was neutered late in life. And so the Squawk-1 works really well for him. I've tried stopping the product a couple of times and he immediately goes back to leaking, but if I give him 1 capsule twice a day, he's good to go. We've been using this product on Freckles for about a month and have not seen any improvement, so that's not the right herbal choice for her. Simalsan is another one that is used fairly commonly. Jinsua is another one, but there are many different herbal products, and so if you try one and it's not working, it just means that you've got to tweak the formula. So we're going to keep working with Freckles and see if we can find the right combination of products, and it might be that we need a homeopathic and an herbal. And I'm going to reculture her urine. Even though her last urinalysis came back normal, I'm going to reculture and make sure that we don't still have some infection hiding out in there that might be contributing to the problem. From a Chinese medicine standpoint, this is a kidney qi deficiency. The qi is the energy, and so she's got weak kidney energy and it's not able to hold the urine in. It's also a bit of a spleen qi deficiency because the spleen qi, which is actually the digestive qi, is responsible for holding things in the body. And obviously she's not holding her urine in her body. So we're going to try to find the right combination for her. In the meantime, she wears her little diapers very nicely at night, and during the day we just take her out a lot more often, and that solves the problem. So chiropractic and acupuncture are also very good therapies for urinary incontinence, and sometimes just a treatment or two can solve the problem. So talk to your holistic veterinarian, try to work on the project without having to use a lot of chemicals, and hopefully you'll be able to solve the problem. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.